Bitte sehr, lifelong Asli Özge and her team. Just go all in the middle and the beginning. Ein bisschen zusammen, ja, damit es Bild gibt. Wenn Sie zwei rein, wenn you could do two lines, that would be nice. To move closer together, yes, this looks good.
Can you tell us where to look?
Closer, keep
Closer,
smiling.
quickly. Thank you.
Okay. One, just the artists.
Yeah.
Just actors and, well,
Avec
toi.
We do the same close together.
Kameranın nasıl?
Here? Okay.
I'm here again.
And here.
Here.
Maybe just one with the two leads.
Yes. Me.
Two.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes. Here, please.
Yes.
A single just with Daphne?
She's an Arab?
Maybe you come a little closer as well. And one with Daphne. You too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe she can. Yes.
No, they are staying over.
No.
Anyways, come together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry? That's right.
And I've seen them.
Absolutely.
Okay, can I come a bit closer, please?
But I don't want to look fat.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, die Tür geht
Good luck with the rest of the festival. Bye. Thank you.
Balkonda bir sızıntı var. Elinden orası böyle olmuş. Üstelik olayım. Anne. Valla iyi olur. Ben sonra alırım. Ne o canım?
Falafel.
Çok güzeldi. Severim ben falafel.
Gelirken Ali'ye rastladık.
Öyle mi? Biz de daha yeni rastladık. Ya hiç sormayın. Nasıl kör kütük sarhoştu. Ağzı leş gibi kokuyordu. Hani bunun yeni evlendiği genç ve güzel karısı var ya. Artık yok.
Nasıl yani? Yok.
Bu salağı bir kadınla yakalamış. Abi yapma etme yalvardım. Ne dediysem dinlemedi, terk etti.
Yani nasıl bir şey, çok şaşırdım ya. Ne kadar gururluydu değil mi o gün tanıştırırken?
Endişelenmeden elbette.
Bu erkekler kendilerini nasıl da bulunmaz Hint kumaşı sanıyorlar yani.
Bunu nereden çıkardın ya? Hint kumaşı.
Genç güzel kadın. Niye dönsün ki? Meymenetsiz adam.
Bu yeni mi çıkmış ya?
Ha?
Ben nasıl görmedim bunu?
Kaçırmışsın. Ayarlarım sonra. kayınsosun mu?
Evet evet.
Nasıl biliyorum ama?
Ha var mı sende?
Bunun içinde başka bir şey var.
Yok özel bir şey yok.
Var. Çok özür dilerim.
Sağ ol canım.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this press conference on the 63rd International Film Festival in Berlin, screening in Panorama. Hayatboyu, lifelong, and have a welcome for the actor playing the part of Neil, Gizem Akman. Also have a welcome for the German producer Roman Paul. Playing the part of Chan, Hakan Çimenser. Warm welcome, please. Also have a welcome, please, for the producer, Nadir Öperli. We know him from years ago in the competition. Now have a welcome here in Panorama. Please welcome, Nadir. Then we have the cinematographer, Emre Erkmen. Have a welcome, please. And wonderful playing the part of Ela. Have a welcome for Defne Halman. And we're happy and proud to have her here, written, directed, and edited by Asli Özge. Asli, maybe to start this press conference, can you give us a shortcut from men under the bridge? We now with people who can cross the bridge, but they're also caught up. Can you tell us about what gave you the idea from now going a level higher, the people to watch it?
Yeah, actually, in Men on the Bridge, the subject was the same, like somehow stuck to be in life, and but the circumstances that they had, it was not in their hands. So it was like, they didn't have any education and they didn't have any financial power to change things. But here in Lifelong, it's like the characters themselves who just build the circumstances, and in their comfortable marriage and their life, they are a very successful couple, and then they suddenly feel that the things are still changing, but like mostly emotionally and physically, unfortunately. So they are stuck somehow again, and for me, the subject is the same. I'm still interested in that, but. That's why now in this part of Istanbul. So
yeah, it's also like their love is this kind of upper middle class also stuck between past where they were all rich and wealthy, and now we see a future that is not very sure what they were
maybe
going.
there ain't more anything to achieve. I mean, they are like successful, and maybe you come to a point and you feel like satisfied, and what is next? So it's a bit like that, and then maybe also love turns. Out to be not that strong anymore, and then you just like think, what is going to be next in my life? As if like I had an interview with a woman, and she was in her like 50s, and she told me that I feel like I'm still on a stadium, but the football game is all over, but I'm there alone. So it's something like that.
Mm-hmm. There's a question here, please.
Yes, hello, Maciej Berlin from Polish Radio. It's a question to the director, Asli Özge. As you've been living so long in Berlin, may I ask in German language?
Yeah.
Would you mind? Okay, so die Frage wäre in Ihrem Film.
Well, my question is, in your movie, there is the central subject of the earthquake and the fear of the earthquake. And it is a fear, at least that's how I understood it, that is actually being visualized by this earthquake. So it's a metaphor, if you will. It is, in fact, the fear of something that people do not really want to openly accept, although they know about it, but they do not want to act on it. They don't want to draw the consequences. Could you perhaps say a little thing on that?
So I thought always like the catastrophes, they are like, you don't know when they are going to come. So, and this danger a little bit represents for me like their fear. So in life, so they don't know what's going to happen next, and this danger of change, but earthquake is such a powerful thing. It can change things immediately, and you don't have any control on that. So I thought it's really somehow suits to the marriage thing, but at the same time, of course, in Istanbul, so it's something like reality. We are really living under this threat, so it's like earthquake can really happen every minute, so we don't know it. And that's I found really like it makes somehow, it brings some fears and anxiety. So that's why I wanted to put it in the film to represent that.
Mm-hmm. To stay with the earthquake, it's also interesting that they have to go out of the house, and there's one of these little moments of tenderness between them.
Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah.
Which is very important, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually it's a really very small earthquake. Nothing happened, but you know that when maybe you are more rich or more successful, the fear of losing things is bigger. So I think that's the thing. Like even John, the architect, who knows better than Ella maybe or others, so he just gets out like that, even like with how do you say knight's clothes. So it's this danger, and how it can just make us funny or ridiculous in this kind of moments. So this interests me, I think. Mm-hmm. So like to find out how we can change and show other reactions than coolness that we show to outside world. So in this very fearful moments.
Your question, please. Can you take the microphone?
My name is Mahari, from Africa. I just want to ask, when I go to see the films, I don't read about them, I don't know anything, I just go inside. And it could be a Spanish film today, or it could be also in a Renzo Piano studio. Mm-hmm. How did you manage to put this European style of life that we don't know about Turkey? And the fact is, I ask myself, why is Turkish not in the European?
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, there are too many films coming from countryside from Turkey, as you know, and it's like mostly based on men characters. And, but like, I'm also coming from Istanbul, and I know the other part of Istanbul, and I thought it's not only these people living in Istanbul, and they have also some other problems. So it's not only the country people have problems. So, and that's why I like, in this way, as a filmmaker, I felt myself closer to the artists. And since, you know, art in different forms, like if you don't do something like mainstream, and it's really very difficult to survive. And this interested me very much, because in richness, you have poorness in a way. And that's why I wanted to really just bring it as a subject, and that's why I preferred actually that. And Istanbul could be much more stylish than really a lot of, I mean, countries. So that's also the other side of Istanbul, which is the difference, like poor and rich and everything. So that's why actually. But it was difficult to build that everything. So I must say, I mean, the house was there. But it was empty, so we did all the decoration of inside, and it wasn't so easy.
What was there first, the house or the actors, the characters?
Not the actors.
No, I mean the characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got another question. It's about the cinematography of this film. which I enjoyed a lot. And my question is about your approach to that issue. You use a lot of sequence shots, of long takes. How did you approach this film?
Okay. I think the main thing that the best thing that I did actually in the film to involve from the very first time, like the first draft, second draft, third draft anyway,
Yeah,
you know, and then I was always, I mean, we also worked before, also with Men on the Bridge, with the previous film, and therefore we know each other quite well, and then all this location, to search the locations and looking for the actors, I was always with the project. So it's just like it builds in you the project. So it's very organic. After a while, it's like a daily thing for me, the film. So it just that's the one thing. And the other thing is just we wanted to try something else for this film, except compared to the Man on the Bridge. So therefore, we were thinking about plan sequences because she also likes to leave the space to the actors. I also like to leave the space to the actors and people, like, you know, like technical wise. For example, like, you know, doing the light and everything. And then it's so that's why the plan sequence also offers the actors quite a lot of chance to show their acting. So, you know, you can just leave them, and then she also likes to leave the actors till the end, till they really totally forget themselves. So which is so the plan sequence is also that was the purpose of the plan sequence. And the other thing also, the camera, we use also zoom. It's just like observing and then secretly observing it. Like, you know, it's just like zooming very slowly, as if you don't really realize, is it now zooming, or it just like picks one place, one spot, and then it gets on that spot. So that was also the...
Yeah, maybe I can add something that, like, it also, of course, leads us in the long sequences. You have much more possibility to make complex mise-en-scènes, and what I was like trying to do with the house as well, that they play with themselves a kind of a hide and seek game in the house, and they are like hiding their emotions also from each other. And in the long scenes, you have the chance to observe that change or little things. And that was also a reason. And then you start with something, and then it changes, and then you can show the intimacy or secrets of the character, and you can go with her or with him.
Yeah, and the house is actually, if you, normally from the DOP side, if you have a house like that in the Recce, you would say no, of course, because it's a very small house. Nobody would actually film in this house. So, but it is so it is so cinematographic because it's small. It gives you some limitations, and also the good thing about the house is like it's vertical, and it's very unusual, and it looks very good in the film, and because it has this parallel. It has this transparent thing in the house. You have this glasses everywhere. It's transparent, but yet it's also like distant. It's just in between. So it's also very good for the project. It's like it's okay. It's very perfect place for the hide and seek game. So, for me it was a pleasure.
I also would like to ask Defne and Hakan to work with this space, what he's talked about, in a limited space.
Well, there were certain challenges, obviously, but on the other hand, as Emre pointed out, having those restrictions also really helped drive the characters that we were playing, because we as a couple were also playing this hide and seek, so having those restrictions and then also being able to hide in certain rooms, that was also very useful in terms of the emotional aspect of what was going on in their marriage and in their lives. I was on board quite before we started the actual shooting, and then after entering the house, even during the whole shooting time, when everyone would go out to eat, I would stay in the house. I mean, I really became enmeshed in it, and I didn't want to leave to be. Well, I mean, you know, it wasn't out of some strange connection. It was just in order to have that connection with the house and not to go outside and have other elements creep in. And I really wanted to stay within those confines and have the relationship with the house and the environments as well. And it was a very personal experience as well. As Asli said, it was empty, and you know, the whole house was built from the inside, and every detail helped serve the scenes and the relationship and what was going on in their marriage. I mean, we had a personal connection with, you know, everything that we used in the house. Some of the things were from our own homes, and then the rest was done from the art team. So, yeah, so I think that's pretty much.
But finally, it's wonderful that you made it out of the house and came here to Berlin to present the movie. Hakan, would you like to add something to that?
Ben Türkçe konuşacağım. Yani tabii zordu çünkü ev sahibi bayağı kızgındı. Yani
well, that was of course difficult because the owner was pretty mad at us. No, that was just a joke. No, just as Defne said,
aşağıda koltuğa uzanmış ve kitap okurken buluyordu.
It was a very special situation. I, for example, lay down on the sofa reading a book, and that happened while we were shooting the film. And while they were shooting Defne's part upstairs, I could just, you know, relax on the sofa and read. And it shows how much we identified with the place. And our director, Asli, is of course an outstanding director. She is really very, very gifted and talented, and every once in a while she showed us some small parts of the footage, and we could see two people trapped in this house and how they tried time and again to flee from each other, to hide from each other. And I myself could also learn some things in terms of directing with a view to theatrical staging, and I was really impressed how Asli managed to do that in this framework.
Maybe Gizem, as you're playing the daughter in the movie, can you tell us a bit about how you experienced the both Hakan and Defne living in this house?
No, I can't see who is speaking.
Yeah, it's me. It's over there. Hi.
Can I have the question again?
The question was, as your daughter, when you came to this house playing the part, but you see them, and as I said now, that they prepared and that Defne stays in the house longer and longer to get more involved with the house, how you experience them, both the actors and their characters, when you playing with them, when you see them in the house, working with them?
Well, first of all, it was a very exciting experience. And to be with Defne and Hakan in that house was very challenging, but the most challenging thing was to be with Asli, because she has so smart and how to say, like, different and difficult ways to express. I mean, she wants us to express in many, many different ways that I was not used to, and that was a great thing to learn all about from this. And the house we were in, yeah, I tried to how to say, just I think I should speak in Turkish now. Just yani o evin içine kendimi adapte etmeye mesela çok.
Of course, I tried to adapt to the house, to the interior of the house, and that was one of the most important tasks for me, really.
Bunların hepsini Aslı o kadar
to get used to the space that is available, to use the space and to use the time available. Asli, our director, really managed to get me to find ways to get an orientation in that house in a very clever way, and that was unusual for me. It was something that I didn't know before, and it was great fun.
önemli
And
taktikler vardı.
perhaps it's enough if I just
maybe I can
say
add
that.
something.
It was really a
Because
great
she
pleasure
didn't
for
see
me.
the script. So I'm just in a method
evet.
of mine is like I don't give script to everyone. So she was just always asking what's going on.
But that was most exciting part, and I still don't know anything about the script, and I don't want to learn till I see the movie. I mean, I like that idea. Really, thank you. I like that idea. It's great because I really don't know what they are doing and they they have in their lives when I don't see them or when I don't talk to them. So, of course, I don't know.
Well,
I shouldn't know.
That's an element that's very truthful and real, and I think that's what Asli was after, and she really strived to achieve that, and we were on board with her to do that, and so it was actually a really great learning experience in terms of acting and how to approach acting, or not even using the word acting, of not acting, just being, and this house also helped the sense of claustrophobia, and then also it was a bit like a labyrinth that was, stacked up, and so there were there were different elements to play with, and I think Asli used that really well, and she let us navigate the house and the tumultuous waters of our relationship in that house. So.
So the thing is actually, if you work with Asli, you always have to be standby. Otherwise, that's it. You're done.
And the most important thing was it was a realization of your inner self, and you really needed that concentration. And she tried so hard to make us focus on that, and I hope she managed it. I don't know. I have to see the.
We haven't seen the film either. But,
Yeah, she did.
Oh, good.
Your question, please?
Yeah, my question is the following. Especially for Ella, art and her work as an artist plays a decisive role as far her expressions of feelings, of emotions is concerned. And I wonder, you show a lot of architecture, a lot of art in your film. Where do you got this idea from, and to which artists do you rely?
In my close environment, so I'm really much into art, so I follow it really very closely. I'm really interested in it. And but in the film, because I'm a filmmaker, I don't like to switch departments and suddenly create artworks in the film as if I'm an artist. So I'm not. So I thought, what is the need of this character? So what she would do? I mean, she doesn't really speak, but create instead of speaking. So I thought her emotions at that moment she should just translate through the artwork, and then I thought for example, the first one was Emre Erkmen, and her work stoned. So I thought that it's just like great representative for Ella, because I mean even also for Can. Because it's like she replaced that stone, the Aisha, I mean, in a museum, which was the ceiling was like glass, but not the holder, the middle glass, and then the audience just come and then look upstairs, and then they suddenly see that stone as if it's coming down. It's a really huge stone. And I thought that really for Ella, the stone represents Can. She cannot just move that stone so easily from her life, and at the same time, if it would crash on her, so she will be like that. So I thought it's the right work to do for her. And the second one was. The most important also Anne Veronica Janssens, and she's a Belgian artist, and I like the idea that I think her work blue, green, red, because she had different art, I think that was it, and in that one like that she plays with the mist, and that's how for me Can feels when he gets into the mist, and he really understands how everything was suffocating for Ella through the whole marriage. And for me, she got the idea, for example, I don't know if it just comes out in film, it's not really important. For me, it was based on the journey on the mountain, when they were going through, and then really like she felt really suffocated in that car. There's no way to go out. They are together and they don't talk, and it could be the most horrible thing, I think, in life. And that's how she then come up to this idea. So that's how I started with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your question, please.
I want to go back to the earthquake, because when there is an earthquake, buildings collapse, but sometimes they remain ruins and you can build them up again. So in this relation, I saw something dealing like this, because at the end of the film, there's a beautiful thing that she says, I forgot the light on. Is this a remote control of her past life, or is it just happened like this?
I mean, for me, what is, I don't know, it also came up or not. So it's for me, they are looking to their own house. So they are about to rent the house for Ella, just opposite to their own house. So at that moment, they are really looking at their own life from other point of view, behind that empty house's window. So that was the thing actually for me. And then, but I really want to leave it open. So the way you think is also nice. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, what you said about art puts on another interesting and revelating question, which is about the relationship between money on the one hand side and art on the other hand side. I have the feeling Ella stuck in this relationship even because she's got a lack of money, or she fears for her future. Could you please comment on that?
Yeah, that's true. But I think, I mean, she's still an artist. I mean, she could just go out and she's a well-known artist, like as I show in the film. I mean, she could go up and take risk and maybe fight. But she doesn't do that as well. So it's just like in both ways. Okay, it's bad for an artist like this. As I told you in the beginning, like for the filmmaker, it's the same. So you cannot really survive from what you do if you don't do mainstream or commercial things. So that's the case for Ella. So over that, I try to explain this. So it seems maybe rich. It's not so rich, that life at the same time. So yeah, but. I don't know what more to say on this. So it's unfortunately, love and hate relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
He brought a nice thing about the money, and I want to ask the actor who is also works in a theater, yeah? So I want to know, when you read, maybe Brad Pitt takes $20 million for a film, and then you work 3-4 years for something, and maybe you take $1 million. What do you think about it?
Doğru. Yani
well, yes,
tiyatro daha yoksulluk içinde yapılan bir şey ama tabii
of course, in theatre,
çok bilmiyorum açıkçası.
You rather more frequently have to deal with problems of shortages, money-wise, that you have to deal with less money. But I am an actor and a trained actor and an actor out of passion, and I only started directing work afterwards at the theatre. And there, where you can actually make some money, is in front of the camera, of course. But to me, theatre always was what it was all about for me, and I managed to, stick to my passion to theatre. And the financial aspects are just, of secondary importance there. Theatre is a true passion for me, and this is really the profession that I find most fulfilling. And I keep telling that to Asli. When we were shooting the film, it was just as fulfilling. It was a great pleasure to act in front of the camera. And of course, it's not always about making money, Sometimes you would just want to have some other kind of meaning in your life, something apart from money, and that's why I keep playing theatre.
Producers also have to deal with financial difficulties, so I would love to also welcome Roman and Nadir to give a comment how we went into this project and what was your experience to work with Asli and on this movie.
Yeah. It was also a bit challenging for us to finance this film because from the start we were always talking about it. It's not a project based on the script. We all liked Asli's previous film, Man on the Bridge, but we knew that this film doesn't have much to do with Man on the Bridge in terms of its style and also the production design. So that made it a bit difficult to convince people who supported the film, who provide financing. But I think both the success of Man on the Bridge and our previous films, as Blood Film, Razor Films lineup, and also our Dutch partners, Augustus Films and Caliber Films lineups, they all helped funding institutions to get on board in this film. They all believe that it will be a successful film at the end. It was also difficult because I was like Emre, I was there from the level of idea. So it was very difficult to convince actors to believe in the film without reading a script, You have to build a trust in them. They have to make it sure that it will be a great film at the end. And as a producer, I believe in traditions in terms of the history of filmmaking in a country. And when you look at the history of Turkish films, there is not much successful cases which deal with upper middle class people or films about artists. So that was also quite a big challenge because we don't have a tradition of, for example, actors to play such kind of not bourgeois but intellectual and upper middle class characters. So in many aspects it was a big challenge, but I think as a team of producers, director and actors, we managed quite well. I think so. I don't know.
Do I have to press? Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, it was difficult to finance the film, but it was a good start in the beginning because Asli and I, we know each other since quite a while because she was in Thessaloniki Film Festival, that was quite a while ago, where she won an award, and I was in the jury since that day. We knew each other, and I personally really loved Men on the Bridge very, very much. It's a great piece of work. And then we had the plan, we should do something together, and I went to Istanbul Film Festival, and Asli was there as well. And then a natural catastrophe happened, but a friendly one actually. This Icelandic volcano broke out and I got stuck in Istanbul. And then Asli said, okay, we have to do something. There were German dentists who called taxis to bring them to Munich, but I thought, why? So we just stay. Yeah, you have to meet Bullet Film, and then we met Nadir. And that was a very good start. And we at Razor Film, we found the move she made from Men on the Bridge to The People Who Can Cross the Bridge actually very convincing. Because when we work internationally, quite honestly, we do not deal very much with people from the other side of the bridge, but from the people rather that are depicted in this film. So there's also kind of honesty to it, that she shows the life of affluent people in a city like Istanbul. So we were very, very happy when she came up with this idea and started to develop the film so quickly, and in the end, well, we are very proud that we are involved as co-producers with this film, that she shows a slice of life that with Turkey on the rise is very, very important to show. It's also a secular Turkey. It's people that live on an international level and that contribute on an international level, as you can see today here in this room. And that's why we're also happy that we can be part of this experience in a aesthetically very convincing way, I think. And we have to thank also everyone who got involved, because there was some talk about money. That is still a labor of love, be assured. That's not something that you end up being rich or something. And people worked very, very hard in Istanbul and everywhere to make this film happen. So thanks a lot, especially to the Turkish partners.
As you mentioned, that this home is also a main subject for your filmmaking, searching for home, looking for a home. You're living far away from your home, but you find a new home here in Berlin.
Yeah.
Is it also very helpful to have an outside view
Yeah.
on Istanbul? And maybe coming back to Istanbul as well, talk a bit about Istanbul. Does it be a bad part that, or give it Istanbul a bad shape that the European capital of culture was at 2010 in terms of what happened now in the art market and what's happening with Istanbul?
Yeah, I don't know if this 2010 brought anything. I didn't realize anything in Istanbul about it, but yeah, so I don't know if there's anything to tell about this, but yeah, I was born in Istanbul and raised and studied film in Istanbul, and then I moved to Berlin 10 years ago, and I learned German here, and I don't have any relatives in Germany. And so I was like, but I like the city and the life easygoing, but at the same time I miss sometimes the chaos in Istanbul. So then I go to Istanbul, and then I think, oh, it's too much. Then I quickly come back here. I mean, so it's really great balance, and I think I really find very good partners here, and like working also like with Razor, and so I really feel at home. But of course, so I must, by the way, also thank Nadir, because he was like from the beginning on always together with me, and even though sometimes he was against what I want to do, he was still always on my side, which I really appreciate a lot. So it was really at the end when I just think it was like a great journey, because it was maybe for them it was not so easy to find money, but at the end, everything took place very quickly. So it was only 2 years ago, right? I had the idea, and in 2 years we wrote the script. We have done actors and finance, and we just premiere. So it's really pretty quick. So that's I mean, for German terms also, right? So and also of course like very, very special thanks to Emre, of course, and because not only as a director or photographer, but also his input into the script. And always like talking about the idea and the way that I work. I mean, for all of them, it wasn't so easy because, as they say, I changed the script immediately. I have an idea. I don't want to stay fixed with the script. So, and then it can happen every minute. And when we were, for example, the first day of shooting, it was in the east part of Turkey, in Van. And Nadir was always asking me in the plane, Asta, you are sure, right? You are not going to shoot anything in the airport. We didn't organize anything, no preparations on the airport. And we just get out on the airport. I saw that the airport was also like crashed because I wasn't there before, because I just added that into the script also in the last minute, which Enis, the other co-producer, was against because it was the last minute. But Nadir convinced them, so we went there, and then Nadir wanted to be sure, and at that moment also it was crashed, and I said I want to shoot here, and and it just started with that moment and everything.
So the scene is not in the final cut.
Yeah.
So the Panorama is very happy, and the Berlin Film Festival is very happy that your journey stopped here at this festival, the 63rd Festival. Glad to have you here. Wonderful movie. We wish you a good presentation this night, a good opening here, and enjoy your movie. You see it the first time. We already enjoy it. You're going to see it tonight. Enjoy it. It's a wonderful movie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you.